Hey, what's up? Dave with Brazos Valley Barbell. So I'm just wrapping up my last week of my current block, and this was my peak week. If you're familiar with reactive training systems or emerging strategies, one of the major concepts with this is that by doing a consistent training stimulus week to week and tracking the progress, we can really come up with a solid understanding of how long it takes every athlete to get into their best condition. So our current thought is that that takes me about 5 weeks, and this was my 5th week. And so it really turned out to be pretty strongly correlated with a really, really good performance. So what we're going to show here is going to be a lot of my really good lifts. I hit a lot of PRs. I was really close to some big stuff overall, but really, really feeling confident with training. So this is my first day of the week. This was really the best day overall with squatting and benching, and I ended up hitting a big 705-pound squat. But we'll see. This ended up being a little bit harder than anticipated, but this was also something that was given the go-ahead by Mike, so this wasn't really a YOLO off plan kind of thing. This is something that part of seeing really what the strength is on this week 5 that we like to see. So about 3 or 4 months ago is when I first squatted 700 pounds. That was an amazing training cycle. Just 2 weeks after that, I tore my adductor. So this is actually my first 700-pound squat since the torn adductor, and I've only done 700 twice in my life. So just doing this, getting back to the point where I can hit this number again is something that I think is a huge milestone and really could not be more confident. So all the warm-ups were feeling good. This is 635 right here. I guess 90-ish kilos. This one felt great. I think after this one, I started thinking, okay, I think I can do 700, but 675 first. And this one was really hard. So there was a pretty good chance at this point that I was just going to stop. But I felt like I had just, messed up. I felt like I had rocked back a little bit. It didn't really feel that difficult. So I said, let's load it. Let's go after it again. And in the moment, I really wasn't thinking that this was going to be I was going to be proud of this lift, but afterwards, after squatting the 705, I realized, this is a really big deal. I came back from a significant injury and I'm now back squatting more than I ever have in my whole life. So it was also really cool to be able to hit this rep as hard as it was and to feel really confident with my abilities of taking something 705 pounds and grinding like this. So ideally, this isn't something that I hit on a regular basis. And, if I end up squatting over 700 pounds at the Arnold, I'm feeling really good about it. And hopefully it's just not quite that hard. So during this training week, it's important to know that, I'm not just going for max effort lifts and then calling it a day. I still have all of my working sets to do. So it's still a normal training week, but this was percentage-based back downs, and I was a little bit afraid of what the number was going to give me, but luckily 705 was an RPE 10, so it was just based off 705 and not any sort of other estimated max. So these reps at 565 felt really easy and surprisingly felt the easiest that they have all block, even after a very, very hard squat. So that's another thing to be really encouraged about. And my bench press seems to be one that gets a really good peak here. I've been benching well the last few weeks. It's really been building to something nice. So my current competition bench, my best bench in a meet, is 418 pounds, and I go for 450 here. So this is 405, very easy. So then I jumped to 430, which I was using as a little bit of a bridge, and this one felt about an RPE 9. So I've only benched above this one time. I've done 440 pounds or 200 kilos, and I think that probably would have been the right number for today, but we have a little gym leaderboard, and the current record is 445 pounds in my weight class. So I wanted to take a little bit of a stab at this 450 to get there. But as you'll be able to see, it was just a little bit too heavy. But anyway, this is really exciting to even feel like I have the ability to load 450 pounds on the bar and go after it, where, my best bench was 418 pounds. And that was a big reason why I thought moving up to 105s would be a good thing for me. Specifically, my squatting and my bench I thought would benefit. And so far, that's exactly what's happening, is I'm getting really big boosts there. So this is my first deadlift day of the week, the day after all the squatting. 675 right here moves awesome. And this is a day that I've really been struggling getting over. This is 725. It's been my top set at 725 pretty much every day during this block. It's supposed to be an RPE 8, and clearly that is not an 8. So went to 765 here, and this one turns out to be pretty hard. But this was my technique was feeling really good, and maybe a little bit of cockiness from the day before after the 675 or the 675 squat that was a big grinder. Turned out that I ended up having a little bit more in me, so I loaded up 800 pounds after this, and after watching the videos, maybe that was a bad idea, but it was a really encouraging thing to be able to feel like I had a good chance at 800 on what is consistently a very bad deadlift day. And I know that both of my deadlift consistently peaks really well. I don't know, when my back is fresher, if I'm able to get into a little bit better position in competitions, I always pull significantly more at meets than I do in training. So this week was a good deadlift week for me regardless, but I would expect to feel even better at a competition. So the week of the Arnold, I'm not going to be hitting max effort squats. There'll be a little bit of a taper, so I should be in a better position to actually make that lift happen. But deadlifts felt really snappy. Every lift felt really, really good. So another big milestone this block was on my third day of the week. It's also my third bench day. I do 3-count pause benches, and I've been wanting to do that with over 400 for a while, but it just never really turned out that I was feeling very good during this day. So this was the last week, and I decided if 385 is fine, so I just said let's just load it. Put 405 on there, and I think it moved about as easy as 385. So this is just a day that I feel like I kind of have high fatigue, and sometimes as I get into the heavier weights, maybe they get a little bit more attention from me, but it ended up being really solid, and now to be pretty much doing every variation with over 400 pounds, I'm just feeling like there's so much room to grow there, and I'll be comfortably benching over 450 this year and really being competitive as a bencher in the 105s when I didn't really even feel like I was competitive as a 93. So last day of the week, this is usually my best deadlift day, and it felt awesome. So 675 pounds again for the pause single warm-up. After this, I jumped to 745, and this one felt amazing as well, so I took another stab at 800 pounds. I was going to pause it, and then I felt really heavy, and I didn't get it at all anyway. So maybe got it a little bit further than early in the week, but this was just to be able to go after 800 twice this week. I think last week I had trouble with 750 for a single on my really good deadlift day. So this was just a very, very good week as far as training status. Even though there were a few missed lifts in here, it still demonstrates a much, much better ability. I'm stronger than I ever have been on anything, and I think there's some things to work on. Specifically with my deadlift, I can definitely improve here, but training is going very, very well, and I think me giving over the reins to somebody else has let me stick through these blocks a little bit longer, kind of ride the waves, not make any changes, and has led to these better peak weeks than I really have ever had before. If other points during training I would have wanted to abandon ship and change things up, I don't think that I was ever reaching these peak performances here. So it's been a really cool thing. But 725, I was going to do a triple here and got really hard, so I gave up and then finished with some deadlifts at 675. So this was a great block. I was able to start small and really build into something really big, and now my confidence is at an all-time high heading into what should be a very, very productive block and hopefully a big total at the Arnold. So I'm looking to squat over 700 pounds, hopefully bench 450, deadlift over 800 obviously, and hit something around a 900 kilo total, potentially over 2,000 pounds if it's there. But anyway, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.